Hello, everyone. My name is Hala, and as a part of the JP Morgan Chase's corporate communication team, today we'll be walking you through our company's strategic story. We'll start with who we are and the narrative we communicate to the public. Then we'll explore some of the challenges to that story, a key issue we're currently facing, the stakeholders involved, and how we can bridge those gaps through targeted communication. Today, I have Sterling, Caitlin, Claudia, Alexandra, and Albiona here with me today. For our agenda today, I will be doing the overview and narrative along with this introduction. We have Sterling taking care of our external narratives, Claudia going over our key issues in this company. We also have Caitlin who will be discussing our investors, Albiona touching on the representation of our employees, Alexandra going over our board of directors, and lastly, I will be wrapping up our presentation. To begin, I'd like to briefly introduce who we are at JP Morgan Chase. Our roots go back to 1799, and today we are the largest U.S. bank by assets with over $4 trillion as of December 2024. We operate in more than 100 countries and employ over 317,000 people globally. Our services span consumer banking, commercial banking, asset management, and investment banking. As a global leader in financial services, we remain committed to building long-term value for our clients, our customers, and our stakeholders. At JP Morgan Chase, the story we're telling is centered around being the most respectful financial services firm in the world. As our CEO, Jamie Dimon, says, we serve our clients and communities and support our employees with heart. Our values, service, excellence, courage, curiosity, and heart guide everything we do. We're investing in better technology to better serve clients while staying deeply committed to economic inclusion and community development. This narrative reflects not just what we do, but what we believe in as a firm. I will now be passing the mic over to Sterling to discuss our external narratives.
Thank you, Hala. The external narrative surrounding our company is determined largely by how we are perceived by the media, regulators, our employees, and our customers. JP Morgan Chase is one of the largest financial institutions in the world, and our global presence makes us a target for scrutiny and criticism. Through my research, I've identified two primary discrepancies between our internal and external narratives, specifically as it relates to our workplace culture and sustainability initiatives. First, let's examine the workplace culture and the backlash stemming from the return to office mandate that was implemented in early 2025. The return to office mandate has impacted over 300,000 employees and contradicts our internal narrative of fostering a progressive and inclusive workplace that empowers our employees. As other companies embrace the flexibility of hybrid and remote work, JP Morgan has maintained the stance that a full-time in-office approach is the best way to run our business, which could have a long-term impact on the talent that we're able to attract and retain. The second area where we see a discrepancy between the internal and external narratives is with respect to our public sustainability commitments and our investment practices. JP Morgan Chase claims to be committed to supporting the energy transition and reducing our carbon footprint, but our investment practices tell a different story. Since the adoption of the Paris Agreement in 2016, JP Morgan Chase has invested over $400 billion in fossil fuel projects, which is more than any other financial institution in the world over that same period of time. These investment practices have garnered criticism from environmental activists and regulators who claim that our company continues to contribute to climate change while publicly committing to be an environmentally responsible corporation. The manner in which we have decided to address these discrepancies between our internal and external narratives will have a significant impact on our reputation and how we are perceived by our stakeholders. Now, I will pass it over to Claudia to discuss the key issues that we face moving forward.
Thank you, Sterling, for walking us through some external narratives surrounding our company, JP Morgan Chase. Now let's turn our attention to some key issues that stem from the tension between how our company views itself and how we are publicly perceived. As JP Morgan, our research agenda is as follows. The goal of our AI research program is to explore and advance cutting-edge research in the fields of AI and machine learning, as well as other related fields like cryptography, to develop solutions that are most impactful to our firm's clients and businesses. We at JP Morgan use AI to perfect client experience, establish ethical and socially good AI, eradicate financial crime, and many more. Through the AI innovation, our customers are fearing privacy and security with data usage, the lack of human connection, and personal assistance and AI tool misuse. Our employees are also seeming to fear the loss of their jobs, specifically those that are vulnerable to automation and being replaced with their skills via artificial intelligence. The innovation of AI and automation creates a gap in the trust that stems from these key holders, which are our employees and our customers. And the disconnect in the narrative impacts JP Morgan, our company, and our public reputation, customer trust, and our employee drive. Now, to better understand how JP Morgan we can navigate these challenges, I'll have Caitlin walk us through the perspectives of our two key stakeholders.
Thank you, Claudia. My name is Caitlin, and I will be talking about one of our key stakeholders, our investors. We have a strong relationship with our investors, proven through strong financial success throughout the years. As you can see on the graph to the right of our screen, our stock prices are continuing to increase quarterly. Because of this increase in financial success, we're able to pay out our investors with regular dividends, and that makes them happy because investors love a return on their investment. We also keep them satisfied by being involved with different strategic investments, such as our latest initiative, the Digital Dollar Initiative. This is a digital currency initiative that us at JP Morgan, as well as other financial institutes, are creating to get rid of the paper currency that we're dealing with today. Some potential threats that could impact our stock prices moving forward are geopolitical issues such as tariffs. Also, our CEO talks a lot about the interest rates and bond markets. Fluctuations in these markets could impact our revenues since lending is one of our top services. But we aren't too worried about these threats because through our proven success and strong balance sheet, we do not find these things are going to be detrimental to our services. Next, we'll talk to Albiona as she gives you more information on our employees.
Thank you, Caitlin. My name is Albiona, and I've been focusing on how we communicate our employee narrative here at JP Morgan Chase. Our core message is that our people are our greatest strength. We have over 317,000 employees globally, and we really try to show that we care about integrity, innovation, and especially diversity and inclusion. In 2023, 49% of our new global hires were women, and 57% of United States hires were from ethnically diverse backgrounds. We also supported over 380,000 hours of employee volunteering and hired more than 18,000 veterans since 2011. Through these efforts, we're telling a story that we support our people, we invest in their growth, and we view them as future leaders, not just workers. But even though we share a strong message about valuing employees, there are still some challenges that affect how that message is experienced internally. For example, the layoffs in 2023 created stress and uncertainty across some teams, even among those who weren't directly impacted. Another concern that came up is the feedback on sites like Glassdoor, where employees mentioned long hours, burnout, and not always feeling heard. And while our diversity programs are widely promoted, some team members feel that those efforts don't always lead to real change. All of this shows that employee experience doesn't always match the message, and that's something that we, as communication interns, need to recognize and help improve. That concludes my section on the employee narrative, and now I will turn it over to Alexandra, who will be covering the board of directors.
Thank you, Albiona. Our board of directors consists of 12 members, with the most tenured director being on the board for over 20 years. The board of directors oversees a company ensuring it operates properly. Their responsibilities are legal compliance, managing finances, managing executives, and strategic planning. Our board of directors have an overall positive outlook of the company and performance. The board views the importance of their employees as a base for success. Jamie Dimon has been CEO since 2006 and chairman since 2007. His first business was selling greeting cards. He went on to graduating from Tufts University and received an MBA from Harvard Business School. Sandy Weil was his mentor. Sandy was considered a legendary finance executive. In 2025, it was reported that Jamie Dimon is worth $2.6 billion. Dimon's outlook of our company is positive. He emphasizes the company's strength and resilience. Passing it back to Ms. Hala.
Thank you, Alexandra. To conclude, we've examined how JP Morgan Chase tells its story and how that story can sometimes face tension with public perception, especially around innovation and employee experience. By identifying key concerns from stakeholders like customers, employees, and investors, we've highlighted a gap in trust that must be addressed. As a corporate communications team, it's our responsibility to bridge that gap with clear, honest, and strategic messaging. Moving forward, aligning our internal values with external realities will strengthen stakeholder confidence and support long-term success. Thank you for your time, and we now welcome any questions you may have.